Hey everyone, and welcome to Television from the Multiverse, the DC TV podcast from MailFuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Connor.
Yes, I am here.
You know what, you always give me shit in the comics podcast for not being enthusiastic about your intro, but I feel like it's actually pretty fair and peppy on this one.
It is, but it's just a holdover reaction from expecting the other.
Okay, I'm just saying, you don't get nothing but shit everywhere.
The other problem is comics we record, a nice sprightly time. I've got some energy. By the time we get to this, got to save that energy for the conversation.
Is that right? Yes, everyone get excited. Connor's just said he's too tired to bother, so...
No, I said I'm saving energy for the conversation.
Okay. We talk about DC TV shows, and coming up on this week's show, we have an episode of Doom Patrol, episode of Supergirl, episode of Arrow, episode of Black Lightning, episode of The Flash. Is that Doom Patrol, Supergirl, Arrow, Black Lightning, Flash? Yes, that's the main ones. And as a bonus this week, I also watched the first batch of episodes of DC Superhero Girls, which is not going to be an ongoing thing, but I thought it would be fun to check it out, because I know at least one person asked me on Twitter if they could get an opinion on it. So, you know what, you're getting it. Cartoon Network's new show. So that is what's coming up on the show today. A couple of bits of news as well, but here we are. So, we'll dive into the news, I guess. So this first thing is potentially good news.
Okay.
I mean, it could be the same, it could be worse, but it's potentially good.
Think I suspect what this might be.
The Flash is getting a new showrunner.
Yeah.
Season 6 will have a new showrunner. Todd Helbing is stepping down. Eric Wallace has been promoted to replace him as the sole Season 6 showrunner. Will this have a positive impact on the problems we've had with Flash in the last couple of seasons?
The sole showrunner implies to me... Is he already working as co-showrunner now?
No. But there's been... No, but there's been two in the past.
Okay. Just seems weird to specify when there's only one, if there's one at the minute. But okay, fine.
Yeah, no, there's just one just now. But yeah, so Helbing's got to deal with Warner Bros. To develop other things and go do things. But we're getting Eric Wallace. So I mean, is this a good thing? Is he better?
We'll find out.
Yeah. But
Can't be much worse, surely.
It can be much worse, yeah. Flash has had some problems the last couple of seasons. And so it's weird, as both seasons started out quite kind of like, this is kind of hopeful. Like, I've liked the first couple of episodes. I like the new characters I've added. On that subject, where's Ralph been? Ralph's been missing for like 3 episodes.
Don't know. Drinking mojitos, probably.
Yeah. But hey, so... The other news, though, is regarding Titan Season 2. We got a casting bit of news for this, for Deathstroke. Isaiah Morales is going to play Deathstroke. He's a little bit older, not necessarily, not compared to Bennett from Arrow per se, but he's just in the sense that he's more middle-aged compared to all the other characters, which makes sense. So
similar to Arrow, then.
You say that, but I don't really... Amel's not that young.
No. I'm trying to see what Bennett's age is. He's about 50.
Is Bennett 50? Okay.
He's 49, but I mean, in the ballpark.
Okay, sure. But he was in Season 2 of Arrow, he was probably like 45.
Sure.
It's been a few years since his main stint.
Sure. I don't know this guy, so...
Yeah. But, no, I like it because if they're bringing these kids in, that these kids are meant to be, like the Titans' age or close to, then it makes sense to have an older character.
Yeah.
So
this guy is 56, so he's, a bit older, but about a decade older.
There you go.
Right? Take.
Yeah, given
when those were, yeah.
Yeah, so, I like that. I like that he's a bit more grizzled, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing Slade as a bit of an older fella.
Yeah, so... That's cool. I have no opinion on the actor. I've never seen him in it. I don't think I have anyway. Don't recognise him.
He was in Ozark, apparently. So, I imagine that's presumably a reasonably prominent role, since it's the second thing he's known for on Google. So, I mean...
What's the first thing he's known for?
La Bamba.
Fair enough. I have definitely not seen La Bamba.
Yeah.
I remembered that title.
He had his IMDb, the first thing, he had a reasonable stint on NYPD Blue.
Okay.
So, yeah. He's been around.
Fair enough. So yeah, just a couple of quick bits of news. And obviously, we're still cheering and celebrating about Arrow ending because, this is good fun.
Yeah. We actually have a correction from last week.
Do we?
Well, there was an episode less than what you were claiming.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, someone in the comments corrected me. There's because I assumed this season was 23 episodes, but apparently, according to our commenters, it's only 22. Therefore, there was one less. I think I said there was 19 left last week. It was actually 18.
So now there's only 17.
Potentially. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll have to do the math again. Checks out. But yes, we have one less because we're going to talk about one this week. So cool. There you go. So we will move on to the shows then, because we do have 5 full reviews plus my little bonus thing I'll do at the end. So starting off with Doom Patrol episode 4, season 1. This is called Cult Patrol, and I think this one stuck out to me as being very directly an adaptation of one of the arcs that we read in that first Grant Morrison volume. It's not the full thing, it's definitely the first half of it. I'd say this is a 2-parter, if I was to guess.
Yeah, I think so.
But we have the Cult of the Unwritten book. And what I liked about this is that, there was a moment where I realised that's what it was doing. Because we start with this montage of this kid who's growing up, and it's his birthday at various ages. He's named Elliot. And I noticed, obviously, the writing on his body, and I was like, what's this writing? Because at first I thought it was just like written on with pen, like like black pen.
Yeah,
I thought that's weird. Why is it all been written on? Is this like a weird tradition they've got or something? I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
And as it got like older and older till it was like hitting 18 present day, I was like, oh wait a minute, I think I get this. I think it was as the dad was saying, hey, like they're going to use you to destroy the world. Like, oh, I know what this is. It's the Unwritten book.
Yeah.
So I got really excited. Also, the mother coming out and slitting his throat immediately was also very
pretty glorious.
Pretty glorious in all the right kind of ways.
I love this show. I love this show so much.
I love this show. This show is exactly what it should be. My only disappointment of this episode is we meet Willoughby in this motel room, and I was expecting Planet Heads to show up, and there was no Planet Heads. So
I'll tell you what legitimately my only disappointment of this episode is.
What's that?
It ended sooner than all the other episodes, because this was like 45 minutes as opposed to the full hour we've been getting.
That's
and
true.
I felt it. I'm like, oh no, don't end now. Where's my other 15 minutes? I don't want more.
So, yeah, the guy are just kind of like recuperating. They've all got their own things going on. Cliff wakes up with Crazy Jane, sort of like I can't remember what the personality is for this one, but the one with the hair and the bunchies and
Baby doll.
Yeah, baby doll, and she's all like sleeping on top of him. And then she wakes up, but it's Hammerhead now, and she's like, "Oh, what the f, man! Like, oh, get with me, you creep!" And he's like, "Jane, what?" And she seems to see Cliff as a violent, like crazy person because she's the one who witnessed him, smashing heads into walls in the last episode. So that's going on. Larry. The negative spirit, if you want to call it that, is putting on these old videotapes of interviews that he did with the chief, and he does it multiple times in the episode, and it's like he wants Larry to see one of them specifically.
Yeah, it was clear to us that's what was going on. Larry was having none of it for quite a while.
But he does pay attention later on with the second. I mean, it happens in a very inconvenient moment given everything else that's happening at that point in the episode. But he does sit down and watch that part of the tape, and the chief was trying to communicate with the spirit. And it gives him this like electrical device, but the spirit goes into, and it's like, no, this will let you speak, so it tries to speak, and we only get one word. We get one word when Chief asks, "How do you stay bonded to Larry's body?" He just says, "Torture."
Yes, it's open to interpretation as to whether that's torturing Larry or it's torture for him.
Yes, even just the way it's used, like as if that's an explanation.
Yeah.
Because he asks how you're doing it. Torture isn't how you do something. Well, it's maybe get information from someone, I suppose, but but it doesn't really the answer doesn't necessarily make sense for the question, which is fascinating to me. So I'm intrigued by that. So that's going on. Rita's feeling a little bit like, well, useless essentially. Like she doesn't know where she fits in the team and what her purpose is. Cyborg's being snooty team leader and trying to rally the troops into finding Calder.
He's really bad at it, isn't he?
He is really bad at it. And there's also obviously stuff Willoughby says to him about how, maybe the Calder you think isn't the Calder you actually exists. Like, he'd be willing to do a lot of shadier shit than you're thinking.
And we should talk about who Willoughby is.
Well, I was saving that for the main plot because
okay.
I was just kind of going through. I was going through all the personal stuff that the main group are going through.
Fair enough. I just feel like we keep coming back to him.
I mean, Willoughby is this kind of.
He's not Constantine.
He's not Constantine. He's kind of like.
I mean that literally because I know Grant Morrison created him because he wasn't allowed to use Constantine at the time because they were like, no, he's off doing his Vertigo stuff. Don't confuse it.
He's more entertaining than Constantine is, though. So it doesn't hurt having what's your man playing? What's his name? Mark Sheppard. Mark Sheppard.
Yeah.
Who was of course on Firefly, which was by Joss Whedon, who created the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
He's very charming, in a brutally honest sort of way.
Yes, he's very typecast actually. To be honest, I feel like every character I see him play is very kind of in the ballpark. But he, I'd say he's kind of like the magic version of the Chief. Well, the Chief is a scientist.
Sure, I can see that.
Not that he collects people and just betrays them. Just in a sense, like whatever the Chief's backstory is, seems to be more aligned with what Willoughby. Seems to be.
I'm with you.
And he shows up just randomly at the mansion. Be like, where's that prick Calder?
All right, Niles, where are you?
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, well, the Unwritten book are coming after, we see the nuns with the blades. They're coming after the Unwritten, the book. They're coming after Elliot. And he's trying to explain this to him. And he kind of convinces at least some of them by summoning a blue horse, which at first I thought had a horn like a unicorn, right?
Yeah.
However, upon closer inspection, it was actually a big nail that was in the horse's head.
Yep. And
it's blue, and it sings to them. It sings
a prophecy
about the world ending because the book the cult of the Unwritten book are planning on reading the book, which is Elliot, which will summon the Uncreator, who will then uncreate everything.
It's Decreator, isn't it?
Decreator, yeah, there you go. There's a lot of weird terms in this, all right?
There is. I'll let you slide because I wasn't entirely sure. I had Decreator in my head, and I was like, "Is it that?" But I mean, if you'd fought me on it and gone, "No, it's Uncreator."
Honestly, I'm not 100%. I just, there's a lot. That's one where I remember what the intent of the word was, rather than.
Yeah, it undoes the creation.
Yes. So, and you're thinking, this is weird. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty weird. Isn't it? So, but here's the thing. And we even get a scene randomly with this priest in Spain whose hands start to bleed. It's like stigmata, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just lights coming out of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I remember this from the book. This right? And I was sitting there thinking, someone who's never even read Doom Patrol, what are they thinking at some of this random shit? Like what?
It's I refer you back to Nobody's answer to who's he talking to. Grant Morrison fans, three people Reddit trolls on and the people who stuck around after the donkey fart. The people who stuck around after the donkey fart that don't fall into either of those previous two categories, they're probably in for a ride at this point.
Yeah, so he explains the kid. They go and we even get to see them getting the kid. They just go through the portal and come back, and it's like, okay, we've got the kid now, and he wants to kill the kid. And no, we're not killing him. We're not, murderers. Come on now. There's better ways. He's like, fine, and they're like, okay, we'll protect him. And how do we stop all these villainous assassins coming to get him?
It's like, well, we got to shut the Signatas.
We got to shut them. We got to stop the portal that leads to Nurheim, I think was the name. Murnheim. And they're like, what's Murnheim? It's like, oh, it's this forgotten town that that was occupied by the Book of the Unwritten, or the Cult of the Unwritten Book.
I love all this. Robot Man's like, what the hell's Nurnheim? Who cares? Like, what is this shit?
Actually, my favourite thing in the episode might be when the blue horse appears and both him and Crazy Jane say "what the f" at the same time in sync completely.
Yeah,
It's so good. So, and then he's like, "Oh, that's this town." But you get to town, it's not a door. There's a portal that comes through in the form of a cut on a person. It comes like stigmata, and they're like, "What?" So eventually, Robot Man and Jane, or it's Hammerhead specifically at the time,
because Hammerhead knits.
yes, so she could theoretically sew the wound shut. They go through a portal to Spain to try and find this priest who's opened the doorway to Nurheim. And it's like, okay, we're doing that. And the rest of them stay back in the mansion to protect the kid. And the kid sneaks off when the negative spirit, leaves Larry unattended. And he tries to go and kill himself. But Rita talks him out of it. And this is where the kind of like Rita gets to shine, because she actually kind of gives him a pep talk, and she feels... Yeah. You can sort of see that she feels useful doing this, that she feels that she actually achieved something here. But of course, eventually, assassins show up. Assassins, I can't remember the name, but they're made out of dead flesh and letters that were never sent. So every time one of them gets killed, they just burst.
Pages fly everywhere.
Yeah, they just burst into letters, like just envelopes and shit. And like,
so good.
And I'm like, this show is insane, and I love it.
And this is going on. Cyborg is there with his big arm cannon. And you got Willoughby there with his flaming sword. Like, I love this. I love it.
The episode's insane. It's batshit insane. And it's exactly the sort of shit that I read in the Doom Patrol comic. The only thing they whiffed on, it was refusing to give me the Planet Head dudes. That is the only thing they've whiffed on so far. And it even, so it was getting to the point where like Robot Man and Jane were getting to the priest, and I was thinking to myself, okay, are we going to see this town? Because they go into the town in the comic, so are we getting to town? And they get zapped into the light, and it's like, goes all bright for a second. I'm like, what's this going to look like? Like did they go and shoot this in a town? And it's this very fake looking town, and I'm like,
do you know what it reminds me of?
Yeah,
a kid, like those little Christmas villages they create, to go and visit Santa.
Yeah, I can see that.
It really reminds me of one of those.
Well, given that it's actually in a snow globe, that makes some sense.
Yeah, exactly, and I can see why they went with that.
Yeah,
I love Cliff. He's like, is this Nurnheim? What the hell? Nurnheim sucks.
And then he's pissed that Jane turns to the stuttering English girl instead of instead of Hammerhead, because he wants to yell at Hammerhead.
She's like, this is effing useless. What the hell are you gonna do?
And then the druid dudes show up who work for the cult, take it to the king and the queen, who turn out to be the parents of the boy, although the dad's still sitting there with his throat slit, so he's just dead. Even though he's in this costume, the mum's like in this ridiculous get up, and it becomes this thing where she's talking to Cliff, and she makes Cliff see himself as a person again. She makes Jane see like in the broken glass all her different personalities kind of at once.
Yeah, and then how they see each other. So Cliff it says is the big bloody monster. Yeah, and he sees his daughter.
Exactly. So all this is going on, and of course the assassins are coming. They do eventually get in. I mean, actually, even Rita gets a little bit of action where she kind of, because Willoughby's going to kill the kid because he's like, okay, look, things have gotten so rough.
Yeah, she goes all stretchy.
Yeah, she goes all Mr. Fantastic on him, and it's it's a cool moment.
It is.
The cult get the boy. They read the boy. This is such a weird sense. And then the giant eye appears in the sky, which I think some of the effects in this show have been quite dodgy. This is a wonderful looking effect because of just like how
it's so
absurd it is.
Surreal. Yeah.
And it's like the team are just looking up at the eye going, well, that's the D-creator, and that's when we cut to credits, and I'm like, shit, man, I love this show.
Yeah, I thought there was a slight chance you'd be mildly down on this with Willoughby just being not Constantine and doing all the magic-y bullshit, but he's very aware that it's just magic-y bullshit.
No, he treats it the right way, and all the other characters treat it the right way. Having Cliff react to it, having the other characters.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, that's what makes it work.
This is easily the best thing we've reviewed since starting this podcast. Like, these 4 episodes are comfortably the best.
Probably. I mean, the real competition's maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Krypton and some of the better episodes of Legends, right?
Yeah.
And maybe 1 or 2 really good episodes of the other stuff. Like, there's maybe 1 or 2 Supergirls, 1 or 2 Flashes, whatever.
Yeah. But I think as a consistent show, like even Legends, which I love Legends, right? This is different in that it feels so. Like Legends is a cartoon, right? We say this all the time. It's a live action cartoon, and I love
This isn't a cartoon.
No, but that's the thing. This is something else entirely. I don't know what the hell this is. This is I don't know. It's something else, but it's doing it fantastically well.
It's cheese on a possum's back as it rolls down a waterfall.
Sure.
So that's probably my favorite episode so far.
Yeah, mine too.
I love it. This better get renewed. I want more of this.
Oh, I need more of this.
13 episodes is not enough. I want more.
Oh,
There's 13 episodes, and I'm just going to double check.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's 13 on IMDb at least.
That's probably right then.
Yeah, it's probably right.
Oh man, 13 is not enough. This is everything bad I said about Titans. I was like, the DC Universe service. It's like, yeah, it's got Young Justice going for it because I already know that's a proven quantity. But I wasn't sure about anything else going forward. And then it comes out the door swinging with this. I'm like, all right, give me what you got. I'm in.
I mean, I ended up kind of liking Titans for some reasons.
Yeah, but even when you liked it, it wasn't consistent, was it?
No, it wasn't consistent, but it ended up being having a lot more going for it than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, I liked it obviously a lot less than you did, but this is on a whole nother level.
Yeah. All right, well, that's Doom Patrol. We'll move on.
But yeah, before we just sit here and say how much we love Doom Patrol.
Yeah. We'll move on to Supergirl, Season 4, Episode 14. It's called Stand and Deliver. And Lockwood is, officially the, Secretary of Alien Affairs or whatever it is, whatever the made-up role is. And he's going to try and repeal the Alien Amnesty Act, which kind of makes the plot around the episode revolve, as well as Manchester Black and his elite who are going to try and interject themselves as best they can. So that's the kind of the gist of it. And we were fairly positive on the last episode of Supergirl, actually. It was a fairly strong episode last time.
Yeah.
I feel like this continued that trend. Again, it's not without its faults. It's not without some things to poke at, but for the most part, it had an idea. It went with the idea. It had a message. It's sometimes maybe a bit cheesy, but it stuck to its message. I like Manchester and his crew again. Hat was fun, and Nia being a superhero and like going too far with the threats and like, because what I like about that is that not only is it funny, I like that it's very clear they're not trying to do like a plot. They're not trying to do like, oh, Nia's going to go off the deep end and be like a dark, like, no.
She's excited.
She's excited and she's doing what she thinks she's supposed to, and Kara's like, hey, cool it down. So because at one point she's like, tell us what you want, or we put this orb of light in your face, and then she's like, no, hey, kill it, Nia, and she's like, tell me what we want to know or else. Like,
yeah, well, it was like, tell me what, we'll kill you. It's like, dial it down to a 7.
That was good, and the fact that she's wearing a costume all the time.
Yeah, although I have a nitpick with one particular scene in this.
Is this where Kara comes in and starts talking about being Supergirl in front of Menagerie? As if it's
what the hell? Like,
I know
they're like, oh, Nia's wearing a costume. She's in that phase, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I, as the scene goes on, I'm like, but Menagerie's sat there. If Nia's doing the right thing, what the hell are the rest of you playing at?
It wouldn't even bother me if she went into the room as Kara. The problem is that she walks in the room and she
flies in at one point, doesn't she?
Maybe later on, but the scene I'm thinking of at the start, right after they've captured Menagerie, because they kind of lure her into a trap and then they all grab her.
Yeah.
Is Kara comes in and she's clearly just like adjusting her glasses, if she's just like changed from being Supergirl, right? That's fine. And I was like, okay, she's Kara here. She's working with the PI Jean. Whatever, that's fine. But the first thing she says when she walks in the room right in front of Menagerie is, oh, I checked the whole planet east to west. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's sitting right there.
I know. I know we've had some questionable moments of her changing a little bit too fast in public spaces.
Yes.
This takes the cake.
Yes, no, it does. And it's one of those things where now I just kind of laugh at it and I just accept it's one of these weird faults the show's constantly going to have.
This is the worst it's ever been, though. the bad guy is sat in the
Yeah.
corner of the room, and they actively address that Nia's wearing a costume when she doesn't need to, even though she clearly does. Oh.
It's not even the only thing in this the genre of complaint in this episode, actually, but I'll get to that later. So this Amnesty Act thing, he's going to try and repeal it, and we get this American alien, which is a nice shout out to one of the comic series. And as soon as Haley was like questioning Brainy about it and saying, "Oh, I'll look into this," and he had this look in his face, I'm like, "Oh, it's Brainy. Brainy's American alien." Easy, right? And that's fine. And he admits this to Kara later. He's like, no, he believed that this was beyond just being a superhero. He wanted to inspire people to all stand together, and it was a nice message for the episode, and it kind of takes that and goes further with it. So I like that. That was cool. And he asked Kara to march with them, and she's like, no, I need to patrol as Supergirl. I can't just march.
And Brenny's like, no, they need to see you as a citizen, right? Part of the march with them, not just this protector overlord.
And she does after she has this encounter with a guy who's like, no, you're not like them, you're a superhero. And she's like, shit, maybe I do have to prove that I'm like one of them.
Because they see her as separate to the rest of them.
Which is where my other problem comes in. Is I don't mind her marching, I don't mind her wearing a robe, even though I was like, where did that come from? My problem was she lands in front of the entire crowd that's marching, Brainy and Jean at the front, and Bray's like, oh, Supergirl, I'm glad you joined us. Like, no, not Supergirl. I am Kara Zor-El, and I am marching with my fellow aliens. And I'm like, why are you admitting your name's Kara in front of a bunch of strangers? Stop it. Stop it. If they ever meet Kara Danvers, like, come on.
Well, it hasn't helped Alex, so...
Does she know it's Kara Zor-El? Right now?
That's a fair question, actually.
I don't think she does.
I don't care. They had conversations. It's just stupid.
It made me. I was like,
bloody stupid.
Don't admit your name's Kara in front of a bunch of strangers. Oh my god. Anyway,
I'm Supergirl Zor-El.
But anyway, those complaints aside, I was mostly quite into this episode. Manchester Black and Cole go to the fortress. Hat's got some fancy gloves to pick up the key, which I like that they addressed that. I also like that he's like, oh, my pal Mixie told me about something. Because apparently when he goes through the hat, they're going through the fifth dimension or something like that. So I was like, so. That's neat. Okay, that's a nice reference. And they're still in tech from the fortress, and they think they kill Manchester because they don't think they kill him, but they think he's dead because he jumps into the room with the Sun Eater. But
baby Sun Eater,
Sun Eater. Sorry, yes,
it's way cuter.
But yeah, they show up later and they use the tech to start a riot at this speech / march, which was peaceful until it goes bad with Manchester Black stuff.
It goes bad because of Manchester.
Yeah. And at one point, Alex actually grabs Thingy's arm. What do you call him? Oh, I forgot his name. Give me a second. Lockwood, that's his name.
Jesus.
She has, it's very satisfying because he's like, no, you're the threat. I need to get you off the stage. But so it's all going down, and do you know what? And this is not a joke because he gets shot at the end of the episode and is potentially dead. But I actually think the use of Jimmy in this episode
is the best it's been in about 3 seasons.
It is absolutely some of the best uses of Jimmy they've ever done in this show.
You mean using Jimmy Olsen as a photographer can actually be a good idea?
I know, right? It's a radical notion, but seriously, he says to the alien, because I like that this alien in the room, the newsroom, we'd actually established he was an alien before because there was someone picking on him like 5 episodes ago or something like that. I was like, oh, that's a neat little callback. He's like, hey, do you need a photographer? And he comes with as a photographer, and the whole idea is that he takes photos as the riot part's breaking out, but he takes photos of humans helping aliens, of aliens helping humans. There's all these really powerful photographs, and it's like, oh, this actually is again, it's got a nice message. Well, it's good. It's got Mad World playing as he's snapping photos, and
of course it does.
The guy who was racist about aliens with Supergirl, he ends up helping an alien. And
Supergirl steps in thinking that he's going to be a problem, but no, he's just offering a hand up.
Maybe it's a bit easy that he's there to inspire to go in the march, and then by the end of the episode, he's like his mind has changed and he's helping aliens, but. It works. It works for the episode.
It's, like I say, it's a bit easy, but in terms for Jimmy's side of things. How's it taken them this long to just use him as a photographer?
I know, it's insane.
Like, seriously.
It's so weird to me that they finally like. I actually kind of like Jimmy's stuff this episode, and I think part of it is because it's not tied to Lena and being in a romance with Lena.
It's not tied to anything except him, just doing the photos, and it's essentially Daily Planet stuff, right?
Yeah.
As Jimmy Olsen.
I mean, maybe when they actually gave him this job to run Catco, maybe if they actually just focused on him actually, championing the press and what they can do and what they can achieve, that might have actually been a good use of him.
Yeah, they've touched on it here or there.
They've mentioned it, but I don't feel like... This is the first time I feel like he actually went out and did something that was purely just, no, the press can help.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That was weird. But I did mostly like this episode. I liked all the stuff Manchester... Manchester seems to be wanting to drive Jean into a rage. And at the end, Jean's like, I'm going to hunt you down like a manhunter. And he's already, flies off. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm kind of digging this.
He goes all green to say it.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of digging like him getting under Jean's skin.
Yeah,
that's cool. Do you know what? I can't believe that we still have Russian Kara to deal with, and we're like 14 episodes into the season, and we have a 3-episode Lex Luthor arc coming up.
Yeah, I'm genuinely a little bit concerned that I said at the start it feels like a lot. I thought, maybe they'll balance it, but. And we thought, maybe they'll split them up into, shorter arcs.
And they didn't, no. Everything's mixed.
They didn't. And now it's, we got, 8 episodes left? Something like that? 9? I don't know how many there is this season. 22, maybe?
8. It'll probably be 8.
Right, 8. 3 of them are Lex Luthor. So that's 5 to left.
I mean, who knows what other stuff also happens to go on with the Lex Luthor plots. I mean, that could tie into other things, possibly.
It could. But, if we want dedicated...
Yeah.
Comrade Kara, we've got a maximum of 5 episodes to play with,
and still have to wrap up the Lockwood and still have to wrap up Manchester Black.
Yeah, so take out at least one for the pair of them.
Do you know what the really frustrating thing about this is that Lex could go either way, although the clips from the ads of like his stuff look fine.
I've not seen any of them.
There's a couple of quick TV spots of him, saying that he's supposed to be the man tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
All the villains, like I think Lockwood, Manchester Black, and presumably Russian Kara, because it's Melissa Benoist playing her, are all better villains than any of the season-long villains we had before. Like they're all better than Rain. They're all better than Mummy Monel. They're all better. Than Non. Like
they're
all better than those
comfortably.
But they're maybe overstuffed too many of them into one season.
Like. If this had been 3 different seasons, oh boy.
Yeah, I said this before, but I can see why you tie at least 2 of them together. I feel like Manchester Black and Lockwood. And that would be fine. But we've still got Russian Kara to get. I mean, unless Russian Kara ends up being more of a season 5 thing, which
they wouldn't have teased it last season.
They teased it last season. We've had like maybe 2 or 3 scenes of like Russian Kara training, and that's about it. That's all we've had. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I really like, Lockwood. I like Manchester Black a lot. Don't get me wrong, but Lockwood in particular, I think is a really strong villain. Wit was fantastic, and there's been some great episodes focused around him.
I think Manchester Black has gotten a lot better actually, because it was always likable, but I think the actual plot revolving around him this episode and last since he evolved from the Elite, basically that last episode and then this episode, I really liked that dynamic of him challenging. And try to be the extreme left, essentially, right? If the extreme right are kind of like Lockwood's side, then he's the extreme left, and
essentially, yeah.
I like what they're doing with that, and I like his relationship with Jean now. At first, I was like, oh, Jean being pissed at him because he was lying to him and all that, and yeah. But this episode, I kind of got it. Like, when Manchester Black sees him like almost like kill the decoy, right? And he's like, oh, now I see what you really are, Jean. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of liking this.
No, I agree. I think Manchester's been getting better as well. And we've said the whole time he's charismatic, right?
Yeah.
And I think
star of the hit film The Dark Knight.
Yes, I think importantly though, both of them, Manchester and Lockwood, charismatic actors are portraying that.
That's true.
And I think, given that they're they're spearheading their respective movement,
we couldn't even talk about Cicada later. Just compare Chris Klein in The Flash to either Lockwood or Manchester Black. I mean, seriously.
That's so unfair, because that's why when we've got like Whitwer doing this far right extremist stuff, but he's a charismatic man. that you can see how he's pulling it off, right? And I think that's essential for that to work. Can you imagine if that was Chris Klein?
Every alien must die.
I can't even take it seriously.
For the audio listeners, I'm doing cicada face right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's about equally as good acting.
Yes. No, well, that's the thing. Even when he's reacting to people with just like without saying it, he does like.
It's constipated face.
He has growling constipation. It's really weird. Yeah. So Supergirl was good. I mean, I mentioned Nia's fun. I think Brainy, him.
Yeah, feeling a bit lost without his Legion ring and not really having his allies at the DEO like he usually does.
He seems to be finding solace in like trying to like be a part of something. Try to like be a part of like the alien population of Earth. And
yeah, he's trying to assimilate in, and you know, he's just doing the organizing, you know, the peaceful protests. He's like, well, if I can't be a superhero like I typically would, what can I do?
And there was like a really nice scene where they think Manchester's dead and the rings went with him, and they all kind of like go quiet when he asks about it, and it's gonna, you know, no, I like the episode actually. But I mean, if it can keep up this level of quality till the end of the season,
I'll be happy. Yeah,
this will be easily better than season 2 or 3, and possibly better than season 1, because season 1 didn't really have a good overall plot, but did have a lot of good individual episodes. And if this can kind of carry this into the final story arc of the season, then I'll be quite happy with it. It's comfortably better than Flash or Arrow this season, like comfortably.
Comfortably, yeah, no question about it.
Yeah, not without its faults, and I still wish it focused on Supergirl more. Although, at least I feel like these last couple have a bit more because it feels like it's more related to her specifically.
Yeah,
and how she's tackling with these issues. So,
and I can't believe it's taken this long to find a good use for James.
And again, that's not a joke about him getting shot at the end. It really isn't. Like,
I don't care about that. That's just a stupid cliffhanger. That whatever. I'm not care. I'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, I mean, he may actually die.
I could see it.
I don't know if the actor wants to leave the show, but I mean, he could. And if he does, I'm like, okay, fair enough. I mean, this one episode's not enough to make me like really be upset about it, but the moment itself was fine. You know, it was like a fine like
yeah.
The idea that he was spreading all this, you know, this positive imagery about aliens, and someone took him out for it.
Yeah, I can see that being, you know, essentially made him a martyr, didn't they?
The worrying thing is that I can see scenes next episode of Lena by his bed going, "Oh, James, I love you, James."
It's fine. She'll be too distracted by her brother.
And yeah, and she's, you know, Haley's getting kind of oddly pleasant.
Yeah, both.
Something's cooking there.
Both Brain and Alex have a moment where they're like, she's a little bit complex.
Yes. And Lena's still working on her thing, but we don't really get much of it this episode beyond just, you know,
just Haley yelling at her to go faster.
Yeah, you know, because James asked her about it, and she's like, "Oh, I'll need to check with Lena if you know, if it's okay to, you know, use you know, tell you any of this stuff." He's like, "Okay, all right," but hey, so no, I honestly, yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Again, not without its faults, but the heart's certainly in the right place, and I was enjoying most of it. So that'll take us on though to Arrow, season 7, episode 15.
Do we have to?
We do. And I'm a little bit concerned. I think next week's is a all future episode with older William and Mia.
Right, well, I'll make sure I've got enough food.
Joe, we neglected something to talk about last week, actually.
How dare we?
We forgot to, because it was, and what's weird is it's probably the thing that made us laugh the most in the entire episode. Was they find like an old tape, an old like
mini cassette.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the one you used to get in like an answer machine kind of thing. And like William pulls this out. It's in the Rubik's Cube because Felicity taught them different ways to mess with the Rubik's Cube, and it comes out, and Mia immediately goes, "What's that?" And it really made both of us laugh. But keep in mind, if she's only going to be born in like 2020, I can't even fault her for not knowing, really.
No, my bigger question is, I'm surprised that he knows, because I mean, he's about what, 12, 13?
12, 13. So that puts him back to about, what, 2005 when he was born?
Yeah. These were not in standard use by 2005.
Yeah, but I think if he saw a regular cassette tape, which I still think were around.
Sure, but bear in mind, well, he's not going to be able to really realistically remember much before he's 4 or 5.
Sure.
So then you're looking at 2010.
To be fair, though, there's lots of old tech I know about just because of movies and shit.
Oh, it's true.
So
it's a fair point.
So she doesn't watch movies, but he does, and that's why he knows roughly what this is. Because it's not like he's like it's not like he's completely knowledgeable. He's just kind of like, oh, it's kind of an old cassette tape thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, like I've never used a pager, but I know what a pager is.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. But yeah, so their entire subplot this episode in the future is to steal a tape recorder so they can play the tape. That is the entire... It's basically like the shittiest side quest in a video game. They have to get the tape player. And what's frustrating about it, it's not even that that's a bad thing. Okay, you've got a MacGuffin, you have to get the MacGuffin, fine. The bad thing about it is, though, is that they go to this market and Mia turns to him and says, hey, you're not from this world, you're clearly much richer than everyone else is here. Don't talk to anyone, I'm going to like secure as a tape player, it's fine. And he ends up immediately talking to a merchant, and immediately it's like, well, he's going to get ripped off and she's going to have to fix it later. And that's exactly what happens.
And not only does he get ripped off, he gets pickpocketed about 20 seconds later. So the shop owner has his stuff back.
Yep, so it's just frustrating because you know it's exactly what it's going to do, and there's nothing about it that's like interesting, or it's like as soon as she says that, the lesson is going to be that he should have listened to her and that he should understand that he's in a different world that he doesn't understand yet. Like,
and then she needs to listen to him because, as he points out, she doesn't even know what she's looking for. So who'd have thought some teamwork is needed? Yeah,
it's just there's nothing about it that's enjoyable until they get to that realization. But you just know that's the whole point, is to get to that realization. And well, obviously, we often can tell what the end game is in a lot of things. It's just like, we should enjoy the journey there, and I don't think we do. It's too simplistic because they have to do it in like 4 very short scenes. So there's no.
This probably takes up a total of what, 6 or 7 minutes,
if that.
If that, yeah.
So it's a 2-minute episode. I don't think it takes up 7 minutes.
No, you're right. Probably doesn't.
4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah.
But yeah, so that was that. And they get the tape, they play at the end, and Felicity's all, oh, I'm sorry I kept you two guys apart. I mean, that was out of love. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Sure was, Felicity.
And she's like, give these coordinates to the team. She reads out some coordinates, and it says, whatever you do, just get far away from Star City. And then they both go, well, we're going to ignore her, right? And I was like, okay, that is the first thing you two have said that's relatable to me. Let's ignore Felicity.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, okay, where do these coordinates go? And it's like, oh, they're inside the glades, so they're going to have to climb over the wall.
Yeah.
So next episode is going to be the full future episode of them going into the city and doing things.
I think I need some new drinking rules for next week, because otherwise I'm going to be too sober.
I almost feel like at this point there should be a drinking rule where anytime someone assumes that William is straight, you should take a drink. Because how many times now has someone assumed that, between Renee thinking, oh, I'll be cleaning my gun if you're in the room, with my daughter, or later on, that other really hilarious scene when someone accused him of being into Felicity and dating her, and he's like, no, I'm gay and she's my mum. I almost feel it's a running joke at this point that people keep assuming that he's
It's a bit of a weird one in the present day one, in that he doesn't even seem to...
I wouldn't count present day. I would count only future.
Which is all we're ever going to see of him now anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly. So...
Yeah,
I would say that. But anyway, so the rest
I'm drinking if Roy pretends to be Oliver again.
Well, you so will. I just realised something else we learned this episode. So one of the other subplot, before we get to the main plot, the other subplot is that Laurel goes to see Bronze Tiger, also a star of the hit film The Dark Knight. She comes in and he's like, I want something and I'll tell you, I saw who killed Diaz. And she's like, okay. And she comes back later and it's just, he wants to see his kid, his son. And then it turns out that this is Connor, and then he goes, "Oh, my little hawk." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Because he calls him Connor. I was just looking. I went, "Oh, is this Connor Hawk?" Because we knew he was adopted, right? I went, "Oh, is this Connor Hawk?" And then immediately he's like, "Oh, my little hawk." I'm like, "Oh, piss off!"
Yeah, it's so forced and obvious. So Diggle's going to adopt this kid for some reason, which means I don't fancy Bronze Tiger's future if the kid needs adopted.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I actually kind of like the idea of redeeming himself, but hey-ho. So he says that a Green Arrow killed Diaz. Not Oliver, he doesn't think, but someone in the Green Arrow uniform, so he assumes it's whoever is running around as a Green Arrow. She goes to see Emmy later on, and is like, "Oh, what if I tell them you killed Diaz in cold blood? They wouldn't like that." And then she says something like, "Well, I'm sure people wouldn't like if they find out about your past, Black Siren." And it's like, and then that's the end of the scene.
I clearly don't remember that scene at all, because I was about to say I don't think there was any Emmy in this episode.
Oh, there was that one scene. The way she spoke implies she did kill him, and she's just kind of, being aggressive about it now to, like, cover it up.
Okay.
But I feel like there has to be a swear here. Otherwise, it's just, no, he told her it was her, and it was her. And that's just like, okay.
It's his arrow.
Sure. The main plot, though, is that the team are actually having to go through police training because they're now deputised, and they have to wear uniforms, and they're not allowed to do any vigilante things, which really begs the question, why bother deputising them if you're not going to let them do anything in their way?
Yeah, not allowed the bows, not allowed the outfits, so you've just recruited them to the police, and that's it?
Felicity's in the department, and at one point her computer basically blows up because the computer can't handle her inputs.
Yeah, and they've told her she's not allowed to hack anything illegally.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, Oliver's like, "This isn't going to work. We're not going to, like, save the city before, like, our daughter's born." Well, they don't know it's a daughter yet, but
yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's go back to the bunker. And Felicity on her own's apparently fixed it up, and it's all fancy and high tech looking again and clean. And
yeah, we'll ruin it again soon.
It's like, okay, we're going to go off book again and just be complete vigilantes one more time. And Diggle's like, no, we have to be better than that. I mean, I'm with you, but we have to still work with the system. And for some reason, the police kind of go along with it, even though Oliver already tried to, like, do things in a more vigilante way, and the guy had to get let go because he was under duress. Because Oliver was holding his face over a vat of acid as he screamed for a confession.
Not just acid.
It's boiling acid. Yes, that. So. Because, yeah, the whole plot is that there's this guy who's, like, giving chemical bullets to criminals, and they make the bodies disintegrate after they go in the body, and the whole body kind of, like, melts from the inside with acid. The main reason being is that it means that there's no bullets to trace back to anywhere, so that's because you said, what's the point of this? Wouldn't shooting someone in the head be quicker? I said, yes, it would be, but the whole point is there's no trace.
Which is fair, but it hadn't told me that at that point yet.
That's true. No, I just got it because I'm smart. So
No, you didn't. They did not show the bullet disappearing when I asked.
It's acid.
After we learned that information. We didn't know it was acid at that point.
We did. We saw half the body melting.
Well, yeah, but it could have been something. It could have been some dodgy poison thing. We didn't know it was acid in there. I don't know. I was blind drunk.
I had to explain to him what was going on. Connor couldn't keep up. That's what I'm saying. He couldn't keep up with Arrow.
I said that before the explanation happened.
And I gave you the explanation before the explanation was said.
Didn't. You said no. Yours was, oh, well, if they only, like, wing them, if they just get a shot in the arm or the leg, they've got to kill anyway.
I said that too, right. And I said...
That was what you said. And I went, oh, fair enough, that works. And then the show didn't mention that at all. It just went on about the disappearing bullets, which you didn't mention. So, shut up.
I don't see any proof. So, it's your word against mine. And you've already admitted you were blind drunk. Those were your words. So, I don't know why you think anyone's going to believe you.
Blind drunk, I mean, moderately tingling.
I also would like to submit to the court that about 2 minutes ago, Connor said, I didn't think there was any Emmy in this episode. I clearly don't remember this scene. So, again, I
completely different scene. Again, irrelevant. I was way drunker by that point in the episode, presumably.
I'm just saying, how much can we trust your recounts of the situation? That's all I'm saying.
I have near perfect recollection of this episode. Thank you very much.
I don't think Emmy was in this episode.
That's why I said near perfect.
See, I should have just edited you, like, cut that out and put it in there, but I can't be bothered doing that later, so I just repeated the line.
That is really lazy of you.
I'm Ginger, and I don't think Emmy was in this episode.
Oh, I wish I had a little, one of those little harp pieces of music. It's like, gonna go do a little flashback.
I'll desaturate all the colour.
Yeah. Listeners, just pretend we did that.
Yes. Video people, never tell them the truth. Okay. So yeah, so they basically just end up like kind of vigilanting it, but like telling the police they're doing it so the police can catch everyone in the act and the scene of the crime when they're disposing of the acid.
And that's just good enough, apparently.
Yeah, and then apparently this convinces the DA person so much, or it's the mayor, sorry, it's the mayor, so much, because it's Laurel's the DA, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It convinces the mayor so much that she lets them now operate essentially as vigilantes under the SCPD as like a strike force. Yeah, as a task force unit, yeah. So as Renee put it, we're basically the black ops for the SCPD now. I'm like, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you are now. Which just feels like a really easy way to just let them do what they've always done, but now they're allowed to do it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. But there you go. I suppose what they might be trying to swerve us into. I mean, we still get Dante at play. Oh, there was no mention of him in this episode, but we do.
Yeah, I assume with Dante, they're doing the ninth circle, right?
Do I wonder what it is? I wonder, since it's only 10 episodes next season, I wonder if this is Dante's more actually set up for next season. Because in the way that Diaz kind of overlap for like 2/3 of a season.
Okay, I'll take that. But who's the villain for the last 7 episodes of this season then?
Emmy.
You think?
Not in the traditional sense, but I think the climax of the season will probably be heavily about like trying to like morally win her over, like, and stop her from being a killer.
Okay. Because Ninth Circle's cool, and the reason why I think it might do it this season as opposed to next is a lot of the Ninth Circle stuff is Queen family legacy and history.
Okay, sure.
And that would parallel really well with Emmy's stuff.
We have 7 episodes left, though.
Yeah, I know, that's my concern. But I mean, hey, Supergirl's got the same problem, and that's a better show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Supergirl's got a different problem in that it's got a lot of good things going anyway, whereas Arrow, they get rid of their previous villain, and they're like just hastily introducing
To be fair, the previous villain was shite.
Well, he was, yes. There's no disputing that. But no, I can see the final emotional beat of the finale being convincing Emmy to not be a killer, right? Which is very hypocritical from Oliver, but I'm essentially thinking...
we've been over this before.
I essentially thinking something similar to the season 6 finale of the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And this is a fantastic reference, and you know it is, if you remember that scene.
I do. I'm just I'm not giving you it.
You know it's right, though. You know it.
Well, you wasted your reference earlier with tangential bullshit.
You don't have to give me shit. I got my reference. I'm happy. Alright. So, yeah, that was Arrow.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention Dinah. Her voice is gone. Well, no.
Her voice is there.
Gone.
Her cry is gone, yes.
Yeah. She's just back up and around. She wasn't there last week, but, she's fine.
Which amusingly just makes her like the last Black Canary, because Laurel never had any powers either, so... she has this whole crisis thing going on where she's like, oh, am I a police captain? Am I a Black Canary? But I've got no cry, so I can't be a Black Canary. And then Diggle and Renee are like, no, you're still the Black Canary. You proved that tonight. And she's like, thanks, guys. Well, excellent. Okay, good. We can move on with our lives, right?
I'll go back to being police captain now.
Let's move on then to Black Lightning. This is Season 2, Episode 15, The Book of Apocalypse, Chapter 1, The Alpha. And this is the penultimate episode of the season.
There is an alternative title to this episode, though.
Is there?
There is. It's The Legend of Cold Snap.
I don't think anything got a reaction at me this. As much as I love Doom Patrol and like that, in a genuine way, I like this episode quite a bit. Black Lightning is very solid usually.
It's good, yeah.
I don't think anything got a genuine reaction out of me. any more this week than when that, because you know when these metas all wake up out their pods and like they're getting back up, and you know Tobias shakes their hands one by one. The first one says, you know, whatever his name is, code name Cold Snap. I let out a howl. I almost fell off the couch. I was beside myself. Now I have to explain some backstory to this. Why are we making such a big deal of Cold Snap? I'm going to explain
because it's a nothing thing, really.
It is. So we do another podcast called Comics from the Multiverse, which we started before this one, where we talk about DC Comics every week, the actual comic books. And we started that when Rebirth started, which was mid-2016. And the Justice League comic at the time wasn't very good, but we're still reviewing it for a while. And it was somewhere in the first like 12 issues, I can't remember exactly where it was. There was a plot where it was like this app called in like all of like a bunch of villains, right? So the team, so you get Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lanterns, yeah, Wonder Woman, yada yada, and it says, oh, this app has called in like 7 of your most deadly and, you know, notable arch nemesis, right? And you turned the page, and it was this 2-page spread of all these villains, and it was nothing but a bunch of C-listers and D-listers. But the one
generous.
But the one that's, you know, it was mostly ones I'd never heard of. But the one that stuck out more than anything was this character I'd never heard of before called Cold Snap. And the reason why it was so funny is because in DC Comics you have Mr. Freeze, you have Killer Frost, you have Icicle, you have Minister Blizzard, you have all these cold villains.
You forgot Captain Cold.
Captain Cold, of course, yeah, Captain Cold from Flash.
There's a hierarchy of cold villains. There's that many.
Which, to be fair, I did it in the right order. I just skipped him. He was under Mr. Freeze, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, yet they've presented me with this, what, 6th cold-based villain, this freezing villain called Cold Snap. And I just thought it was hilarious that, you know, the previous page had 6 of your arch nemesis, you know, the most villainous foes you've ever did fight. You turn the page, Cold Snap.
Cold Snap.
And I have been cracking jokes about Cold Snap for the past like 2.5 years, and I'd sort of forgotten it for a while. It kind of like fizzled out. Like I've been doing it for a long time, and it kind of
we made a joke just in the last month or so.
Yeah. And then, you know, this episode comes on, and it comes up saying Cold Snap, and I lost my shit. And it's a personal joke. It's not something that's actually funny in the episode. It's just, this is a me thing.
Because I said, if I ever expected to get a live action Cold Snap, Black Lightning is not the shot of it. I'd have expected it on like Legends, and them to make a joke about how there's too many cold villains, or maybe something stupid on Doom Patrol. But Black Lightning did Cold Snap.
And the funny thing is that in terms of hierarchy, I mean, we have had live action Mr. Freeze, not a good version, but we've had live action Mr. Freeze. We've had live action Captain Cold. We've had live action Killer Frost and Icicle on Flash. They snuck Icicle in it earlier this year. Or was that last season?
We haven't done Icicle Jr. yet, though.
Technically, that's Caitlin. Technically, Killer Frost and Icicle Jr. are both the same person in the Flash.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Unless she turns out to have a brother, and he's Icicle Jr.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting, because that's the Flash, right? Secret siblings.
I will accept that Cold Snap's above Icicle Jr. in the hierarchy. Not Icicle himself.
What?
But Icicle Jr.
No, I will not stand for that.
This really made me laugh. And
Icicle Jr. has some character.
I think the next one was like, because the 3 villains, they wake up. One's Cold Snap. The next one's like a fire.
Heatwave, I think he's called.
Not Heatwave, because Heatwave's you're thinking of Mick.
It was something like that.
It's like heat stroke or something like that. It was like a similar type of word.
Yeah, something, wasn't it?
It wasn't Wave, because the next one was called New Wave.
You're right.
It wasn't Wave twice, but she's like a water bender. So we actually, because I noticed as it was coming up at the bottom, the powers, right? It was like cryo. Oh god, what was the end? What's the pyro? So it was pyrokinesis for the fire one, cryokinesis for the Cold Snap, and then it was like hydrokinesis for the third one, the woman. And I thought,
you're like, that's not a thing.
It kind of is.
I mean, it technically is, but no one ever uses that word.
Yeah. But hey, so Tobias wakes these metas up. And Cold Snap, in a training scene, gets his throat slashed by Cutter, who does it in a way that doesn't kill him. She knows how deep to go. Is it that you can patch him up? Dr. Chase, you patch him up.
Yeah. It was heat stroke, by the way. I was just checking.
Heat stroke. So
it's going to bug me.
Wait, was I right again?
What do you mean again?
I've been right all episode. This is...
I don't know about that.
There's been nothing but right.
I'm really not sure about that.
So Yeah, I mean, the episode. So I'm just trying to pick what would go first because, as per usual, these plot lines sometimes a very dense show in terms of you've got all these plot lines going on. We have Lynn still because actually we forgot to talk about the surveillance last episode somehow.
With a super satellite.
With a super satellite, yeah, with Bill Duke watching the family and knowing who they all are and everything else.
And killing all the agents. Just like, oh, did anyone else know about them? Does anyone? No one else even knows about this satellite.
So the family have a meeting and they're sitting down and it's like, okay, we're going to have some ground rules. And this is also under the understanding that Jennifer's also going to be putting on a suit and doing powered things. It's like, okay, so here's the rules. You never do anything super powered alone. You always have backup. And they do clarify that Uncle Gamby does count as backup. So it can just be Nyssa and Uncle Gamby. But there has to be backup of some kind. It can never be alone. And they crack a joke about how Lynn with a shotgun also counts as backup, which I thought was funny.
That's fair.
And it's like, okay, so you can't tell anyone about what who you are, the powers, and that. And you can't tell, you never do it alone. Also, no killing. And that's when Jennifer's got a problem. She's like, no, Tobias has to go. I'm going to kill that mother bastard. I censored myself there.
Yes, that mother bastard.
So, and they do some tests with her suit, and it's like, and Gamby makes it very clear it's not ready, which told me she's going to put it on when it's not ready and something bad's going to happen.
Classic Jen.
Yeah, classic Jen. But no, the scenes were fine. You know, like Jefferson, like thinking about her growing up and stuff, and like, oh no, now she's got a super powered suit and like got off to do dangerous things. It felt like a true to life dad moment, and in the weirdest possible way because it's, you know, superpowers and shit. And they go for lunch, and she sort of brings it up again, and you know, Jefferson gives her the speech, and Jefferson for a while last season did want to kill Tobias, and he's kind of come round to this like the superhero way of thinking, where he's like, no, we have to be better. We can't just decide who lives and dies because then people have a right to fear us with powers, right? You know, we have to be better than that. And Jen's not quite there yet. I assume that'll be the big dramatic moment is when she finally kind of chooses not to kill Tobias when she gets the chance.
Yeah, be sometime next season now, right?
I would imagine so. It would feel very quick to do it next episode, I think.
It would.
What's funny, actually, because obviously she does indeed put on her suit and she goes after Tobias, but she immediately gets...
She's a bloody idiot.
Because she gets too weak and she collapses, and we get I thought it was really weird it came up saying to be continued, because this show has been so serialized and so, like, every episode...
Felt no different to any other episode.
Yeah, it was like, you didn't need that. It's like, I feel like almost every episode of the show you could slap to be continued on it, it would make sense.
Yeah,
but you've never done
understand that. It's a stylistic choice, right? Some things have done that in the past.
Oh, sure, yeah. But you've never done it before, so why this episode?
Because it's the second to last one, so they have to be, you know, like, hey,
Did they think it didn't feel climactic enough, so they were just making it clear, hey, to be continued. Part 2 is next week.
Kind of cheap, though, isn't it? To like that.
I guess.
I just talked about the effects at the end as well. You know, she's on fire. Yeah, bit rough looking.
It's not been their best, and the effects in this show tend to be not bad because it tends to do what it's good at and not overshoot.
But, ooh, that stuck out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
it's a solid episode, this, isn't it? But
yeah.
It suffers from being the one before the end a little bit.
I like what it was doing with Jen though, in terms of the speech and the, you know, don't kill people. I like this. I like Lala coming for Tobias, actually. I know we said that it's weird that they kind of just started at last episode, but him going back to the resurrection dude, I actually think he's quite interesting. Like, now that we've seen a bit more of him, like the way he's talking, the way he's into like bringing things back, and he's like, "Oh, you can't die, Lala. Like, no matter what, you can always come back." And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I especially like Cutter's reaction because Lala just shows up. He's ready to, you know, go guns blazing, and Cutter like tries to kill him, and she's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, death's knocking, but nobody's home."
Yeah, I think it's time to run. So she bolts with Tobias. That was it. Yeah.
I said this. I like Lala. I like everything doing with him. Just it's such a weird place to do this and introduce it. I don't think I'm going to get over that. I think it was just a mistake, but just move on from it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just see how it affects things now. How does it incorporate into everything that's going on? And I think this will play into Jen's stuff. Like, I think Jen will see him going after Tobias, and It can be like a a contrast. It can be like, this is
Probably, yeah.
this is who you could be. Maybe don't.
Yeah.
Or he'll just be the one to take him out so that no one gets their hands dirty.
I really hope not.
Yeah, I don't think Tobias.
I
think Tobias is around for one more season at least.
I would hope so. I would be disappointed if we ended with next episode with Lala just killing Tobias.
I don't think Tobias gets. He might like get shot or something and be like injured for a while, but I don't think he's going to be dead. Like they might like tease that he could be dead at the end of the next episode, but I don't think he will be.
Yeah, that's possible.
But yeah, so no, I like that stuff. Bellatrix playing really nice with Lynn, but I guess it's all just very two-faced.
Suspiciously, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Like I'm watching you.
Yeah.
I like the really creepy touch where one of the times they cut back to him watching was when Nyssa was about to get changed, and it's not that we know he's not doing it for perverted reasons, but it just added this creepy layer to it. It's like he's watching no matter what. Yeah, it just added this layer to it, and that kind of worked.
And it is important. He's not like getting off on that or anything. He's not like getting any enjoyment out of it. It's just
that's what I meant. Yeah, he's not like but he adds this creepy layer to it though, just because he's seeing it, and it's just this lack of respect for privacy. Really,
obviously the whole thing's awful. So I'm not defending him. It is an important distinction to make, I think.
Well, good. He also shot everyone who was involved in setting the surveillance up. So I mean, he's cool.
Oh yeah, he's got his own agenda.
Yeah, good.
He's a crazy psycho dude, but he's got something on the cards.
No, I dug the episode. I mean, Black Lightning is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's very dependable.
Nissa's, kind of realised that the old man was probably Grace. It is like, that's your shapeshifter. Again, we said that was the weakest element last week. I think it's the weakest element again this week, just because it feels like, she has to get to that conclusion, and we just have to get her there.
Like you could have done all of that in one episode and had a proper arc out of it, rather than it's scattered over the two. It feels a little bit fractured.
Yeah, that's fair. So, no, we'll see how things play. And again, we have one episode left. Like, is there going to be any payoff to the Grace stuff whatsoever before the ending? Maybe she'll see her once before the end.
Maybe, yeah.
I think much like last season, I think this show does not give a shit about season breaks and where they fall. It just keeps going. Fault. Yeah. Well, to a fault when you're watching it as it originally airs.
To a fault, regardless, in my opinion. I think even when I'm binge watching something that that's say 6 seasons long that I've never seen before, I still want a start and end of season moments. I still appreciate getting to those beats and going, oh, that's a big end of season deal.
That's fair. I've never watched one that doesn't have that though, which honestly makes it a bit of a curious experiment. Like I almost wish I wasn't watching this so I could watch it binge style and see how I feel about it.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you watched anything like that where you don't get those like premium finales,
and let's say I think if. But for me, that's part of the enjoyment of watching something, like getting those beats. So I wouldn't want it to not be there.
I don't hold it against it too much. You like to kind of harp on this a little bit. I for me, it's just kind of like, I agree it's kind of weird and a little bit of a complaint, but it's not something that I ultimately hold against the episodes that much themselves.
Fair enough.
Well, Flash then, season 5, episode 16, Failure as an Orphan. I'll say that again, that was weird. Failure as an Orphan, if I say that properly. So, first things first, this episode, at least in our making fun of it attitude, was entertaining.
Yes.
I would say that.
It was entertaining, it was not good.
It was not good. But it's kind of like the time loop episode, right? Where that was entertaining, even though it wasn't necessarily good. But there was at least a concept of something happening. This was, we have to convince Cicada to use the cure on him, and he has to make the choice.
Because that was always going to go well.
And we spend the first half of the episode of Barry figuring out what he's trying to say to him, or what he's going to say. Because actually, one of the best moments of the episode is, they came out at the start and they think, oh, we'll take Nora for this drink, and it turns out she's got a drink named after her at the jitters.
Yes.
And they come in, but she's like in like team leader mode, and she's like ordering everyone around. Like, no, we have to find this because she's had a warning from Reverse Flash that the timeline's changing and something's going wrong, something's weird's happening. So she's trying to fix everything very quickly, very frantic, and she's like, okay, you're going to try and convince Cicada, to take the cures. Are you going to talk to him? Good. And then she does something that no character in this show has ever done. She then immediately says, okay, so what are you going to say to him? And then everything goes quiet. And Barry's like, well,
it just cuts around everyone, and they're like, yeah, what are you going to say, Barry?
Yes, not very convincing. And, in the spur of the moment, so they trick him, they have, because there's like an acid meta going around who they actually just kind of capture, and that's it, he's done.
Yeah,
but,
Acid Master.
Acid Master.
And I don't remember that, because his actual name has Master in
yes,
it, and Cisco makes a point of that.
That's correct. And then, so Killer Frost pretends to be Acid Master, and then they trap him, they take away his dagger, so Flash has got a chance to talk to him. He's like, oh, we've got a cure, and he's like, why would I take that? He's all, he's being awful, because he's an awful actor. He's like, your legacy. You're going to keep killing and killing, and I've seen how your story ends. And then there's like a pause, and this kid just goes, I don't care about my legacy. And then just starts fighting again, and it's great. It made me laugh so hard. And then eventually they find out from talking to the nurse, and Cecile's using her powers. Her and Joe have a fight because he doesn't like her using her powers, but then they make up, and they get her to talk to where Cicada is, but also that it turns out his niece Grace is also a meta.
But she wasn't like 6 weeks ago, but she is now.
It's activated in her blood recently, and so next time Barry talks to him. And this is after a pep talk from Joe, where Joe's like, hey, you're more than just the Flash, Barry. And then, because we were watching this together, we immediately said, oh god, he's going to take the hood off. He's going to show him his face. Because he loves to whip that face out for just about anyone who wants to see it. It's unreal how much this Flash
it's
likes
an instant down
off.
of my drink when it happens.
Yes, and sure enough, he's talking to Cicada. He tells Grace is a meta. Do you want her to grow up being afraid? We can cure you and her. It can be a whole thing. Why should I believe you? Why should I believe the Flash? And he's like, because I'm not talking to you, just the Flash. And he takes off his hood.
I'm talking to you as a father.
And then he poured down his drink, and I was laughing hysterically.
I nearly choked on my drink because I was laughing that much.
This is such a weird thing. This show is like become a running joke for us, is that he likes to take his mask off for just about anyone who wants to see it.
But they just give us a reason why it's funny when they just pull this shit.
So that's what it was. We had that, and then they try and do the procedure, and Cicada 2.0 shows up. The female Cicada that we saw in his...
Who's definitely not Grace from the future somehow.
In her head. Well, you say that, but they confirmed that it was her from the future at the end.
Yeah.
There was a little... The post sequence was her taking off her mask, and she's got the scar on her face.
Yeah, but no one questions it immediately.
Yeah, and she's like...
Oh, who Cicada's legacy?
Because she says, like, hi, Dad, or something at the end. It makes it really obvious at the end who she is. Even though we were... As soon as she was like, oh, okay, it's her from the future.
Uncle,
sorry, yes. Hi, Uncle. You know what I meant. Same difference.
Yeah.
And it was obvious, even if we had never seen like her inside like her head when Nora was in there, I think it would be obvious it was her from the future, because Nora's from the future, and it parallels with the heroes to have her from the future.
I'm going to go with the fact that it was obvious, because I didn't remember seeing her in her head, because I've been drunk a lot since then.
Fair enough.
So I was just seeing this, I thought, oh, someone's wearing... There's a woman in Cicada outfit. Wonder who that could be.
Well, yeah, but in most shows you wouldn't jump to it someone from the future. It's only because Flash does this.
Yeah, no, exactly. In this show, it's immediate. But at the end, they treat it as this big, big reveal. Like, oh, you never saw that coming, did you?
The show likes to pretend that this was a surprise to us. They really do. But like I say, it's obvious. It parallels the main hero story this season so much because Nora's from the future. It's the obvious thing to do.
I bet they also thought it was a surprise to have Barry whip off his hood.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. They fight Cicada. They fight the second Cicada at the end, and she kills the nurse, Ambrose, whose name I remember because it sounds like Cicada's just saying Ambrose wrong every time he says her name.
It does.
But her name's Ambrose. So he keeps saying that, and he's making his grilly face at everyone the whole time.
No, it's so bad.
His acting is it's something
terrible.
else. There's a lot of it in this episode as well. There's a lot of his dialogue in this episode.
The amount of times I was just laughing at something. It doesn't even matter what he said. I don't know what he said. Just it's the way he says it.
Yeah, there's no Ralph for some reason, and Iris is like upset because she thinks Nora's leaving, going back to the future soon because our mission's potentially almost done. So she's...
And Nora just doesn't give a shit.
No, she does. She gives her that list that she made of all the moments she wanted to see in the past, and she's like, "No, you'll get to watch me grow up. You'll raise me." Blah blah blah.
I meant like for the first half of the episode,
sure.
Where I was like, "I don't care. You'll see me."
I did kind of like that Nora started like spouting out all of Barry's like speeches that he's given to villains to make them turn over a new leaf. He's like, "This is what you said to Captain Cold. This is what you said to
she puts them
Plastique."
all into an algorithm to try and find the most used words to create a perfect speech.
Yes, that was a neat thing. I mean. Yeah. There was a lot of really funny cicada moments. There was the funny Barry taking off his mask. Nora was actually pretty funny, especially early on with all the like how hyper she was trying to get everything fixed. I had a decent enough time watching this. It's not necessarily a good episode because it's still cicada stuff. It's still doing all this shit. It's trashy as hell. But it was at least fairly amusing trash while it was on. So
yeah,
I'll
give it that.
Fair play to it in that sense. But I mean.
I don't think that's what they're aiming for, but sure.
It's totally not what they're aiming for. And I think that's all. Is that everything? Did we really go through it that quick? That was much quicker than the other shows.
I think it might have been. We did Nora. Cisco didn't really have anything.
No, he was just around.
Sherlock had a couple of moments, I guess.
He was talking to Nora a couple of times, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, nothing of note. Caitlin didn't do anything.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah, I think we're done. I think that's Flash.
This is why they didn't have Ralph, because no one else did anything anyway. So why bother having someone else to not do anything?
There you go. All right, that's Flash. So that's all the regular shows for this week. But I do want to mention, I did for funs. I watched the first episode of DC Superhero Girls, which was an hour special, or 40 odd minutes without ads, for the first episode, and.
Is it the typical Cartoon Network format of these 10-minute shorts?
I think technically that's how it's numbered, but honestly, this first one was definitely meant to be one big.
Yeah, they do that. They'll often have one that kicks. I think that Justice League Action last year did a similar thing where it had a 3-part opening, but it is 10-minute blocks.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, like most TV shows that air on network TV are split into 4 acts for the ad breaks, so like.
In this case, it fit neatly.
Yeah, in this case, it just felt the same as a TV show that was an hour long.
I'm thinking when you get to Teen Titans Go, for example, they air as 2 10-minute blocks, but they're still technically separate episodes.
So, if you don't know what this show is, this is obviously a Cartoon Network show. It's aimed at kids. Obviously, it's a comedy cartoon in which Barbara Gordon, young Batgirl, who's a teenager, has moved to Metropolis. Her dad's moved out to Metropolis, so she ends up in high school with Kara Danvers, right? Supergirl, Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, Bumblebee, and Zatanna. And
let's be honest, you only watched it because Jessica Cruz was.
Oh, and Babs and Supergirl and Wonder Woman. Yeah, I like all these characters.
You didn't say Wonder Woman a second ago.
I know, because she's not in high school.
Well, I should hope not.
She shows up later. It turns out she's actually kind of a similar age though, because it reveals that she escaped from Themyscira.
Right, okay.
She's new in the scene. She's a new superhero in Metropolis. At the start of the episode. So this has got this. It's not quite Teen Titans Go humor, right? It's not quite there in that sense, but it does have some of that same stuff where it's everything is very teen based, and Barbara is so excited because she sort of starts to suspect that people around her are superheroes or metas, right? She intentionally starts a food fight so that she'll get into tension with other troublemakers. And she basically makes them reveal they can do stuff, and then she tries to form a team, and they find Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman then tries to train them, and then it reveals that they all have alter egos and outfits and all the rest of it. But this episode featured such moments as them all taking Diana to an ice cream shop.
Of course,
where she tried ice cream for the first time and liked it so much, and it did a slow mo close up on the ice cream going to her tongue.
I can see it.
Yeah. And then she stole everyone else's ice cream because she liked it so much.
This is becoming a classic Wonder Woman moment.
It really is. But no, the idea that Babs is like, oh my god, there's superheroes around me, let's form a team. Like that actually, as much as it's over the top, that is Babs. Like she's excited by the idea of getting involved in superheroes. Yeah. That's kind of her. Jessica Cruz is kind of nervous. Zatanna's a bit of a show off. I think Kara's the one where it feels like they've just picked a personality because they wanted something different from everyone else. Because she's like a rocker, like teen chick, and it's like not to an extreme extent, but it's like
it's what I would typically expect from Black Canary.
Sure, yeah, but they thought Supergirl is more notable than Black Canary, and that's true. Yeah,
they're not wrong.
So she refuses to admit that she's a superhero like everyone else. And I like how, again, in a real live action show this would bug me, but in a cartoon this is fine. Babs is like hoodie's got like little bat ears on it, when she's.
Of course it does.
And she misses Gotham. At one point, she video chats Harley, and she's like, "Sorry, Babs, gotta go. Gotham stuff." She's like, "Gotham stuff. I miss my team," and she's all upset.
Sounds like I could enjoy this.
So to basically force Kara to reveal who she is, Wonder Woman, when she's training them, throws Babs like off the roof into the air and just assumes that Kara will go and save her, which she does. And then Babs like, again. She's all excited, but it's that sort of humor. We got Lena Luthor and a giant robot. We got Hippolyta shows up at one point to take Wonder Woman back home because she wasn't meant to leave.
And then Wonder Woman's like, "No, I'm staying."
No, she actually gets taken, but the team all show up, like reform and like rescue her.
Oh, okay.
And then they all come back, and then they realize Lena's up to no good, and they do that, and it's a whole thing. It was delightful. It was funny. I would happily watch more of it.
But will you?
I don't know if I'll watch more of it just now, but I can totally see myself binging it. Like I think I'm going to binge Teen Titans Go at some point because I think after...
Justice League Action. I watched the first 6 last year.
Yeah,
that was real solid.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to talk about this next week. It's not going to be an ongoing thing. I just thought it'd be fun for the first batch to just watch it and talk about it.
I did plan on watching it, but time got away from me.
Yeah, so I mean, you did delay the episode twice. The recording, I mean.
Shut up.
That's why Tim got away from him.
We agreed we weren't going to mention that this week.
I don't mind mentioning it as long as it's your fault.
You're going to have proof of that.
I do. I'll post chat logs. It's fine.
I don't remember saying anything incriminating.
Well, no, but you can tell from the timestamps. The incrimination is there.
That could have been your fault. Look, we established earlier in this episode, you cannot be asked to edit in things.
I can if I'm motivated enough.
Is making me look bad enough of a motivation? We'll find out.
It may be. Anyway,
I'll never find out, but someone will let me know.
But anyway, that'll wrap up the show. So by all means, we have to pick our favorite episode of the week. It is Doom Patrol, obviously, because no shit.
Because it's bloody fantastic.
I will say, this was a good week in the sense that, like, Arrow was trashy fun at least. Not Arrow, sorry, Flash. Arrow at least had a couple of funny moments. Those were definitely the two weakest things we watched. No question.
Yeah, Supergirl had a good episode. Black Lightning had a solid episode.
Yeah, DC Supergirls was fun. Like, I can't fault it.
But Doom Patrol.
And Doom Patrol was great again.
Doom Patrol might be my favourite thing we've watched this year so far. I'm not talking just DC. I just mean any TV that we've seen this year so far.
It's only March. I mean, that's not...
Yeah, but 3 months. It's a quarter of the year nearly.
All right.
Come on, give me peace.
But that wraps up the show, more or less, then. So, by all means, let us know what you thought of any of these episodes in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Or you can get us at DC Comics Podcast for DC Comics stuff specifically. You can, of course, support the show. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/mailedfuzztv, should you wish to do that.
That's it. So, join the Discord as well.
Sure.
Occasionally, me and people drop some live reactions to some things that we're watching. Get some sneak peeks at our opinions.
It can happen. You can find the link to the Discord over the Patreon that I just mentioned, patreon.com/mailedfuzztv, and you can join up over there. yeah, you can support us over there. You can support us, of course, by liking, subscribing, all the usual stuff, rating us on your podcast apps of choice, all that stuff. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching DC and superhero TV shows stuffs, and always remember that sometimes we screw things up for the better.